There is a moment in life when exhaustion stops being dramatic and starts being permanent. It is not the kind of tiredness that comes from doing too much in one day. It is the kind that builds over years of effort without recognition, years of discipline without reward, years of silence without reassurance. This exhaustion settles into the mind and reshapes how you see yourself and the world. You still function, you still show up, you still do what needs to be done, but something inside you has become quieter, not because you are weak, but because you have learned that noise does not change outcomes. You have learned that effort is often invisible. You have learned that being strong rarely comes with applause. This is where many people lose themselves without realizing it. Not by quitting, but by shrinking. By lowering expectations, by accepting less than what they know they are capable of, by convincing themselves that this is maturity when in reality it is slow surrender. But the fact that you are still listening means surrender has not won. It means there is still a part of you that refuses to disappear quietly. That part matters. Struggle changes shape as you grow. Early struggle is loud and emotional. It demands attention. It seeks validation. Later struggle is silent and internal. It tests patience. It tests discipline. It tests whether you can continue without encouragement. This phase does not reward intensity. It rewards consistency. It does not reward motivation. It rewards structure. It does not reward emotion. It rewards control. You are no longer here to prove that you can suffer. You already know that. You are here to learn how to move forward without destroying yourself in the process. That requires a different kind of strength. Strength that does not react to every challenge. Strength that does not explain itself. Strength that does not depend on being understood. This strength grows in silence. Silence is uncomfortable because it removes distraction. It forces honesty. It shows you exactly where you stand, not where you want to believe you stand, but where you actually are. Many people avoid silence because it confronts them with responsibility. In silence, there is no one else to blame, no one else to impress, no one else to lean on. Only choices remain. This is where discipline becomes personal. External discipline relies on pressure, deadlines, and expectations. Internal discipline relies on identity. You do what needs to be done because this is who you are, not because someone is watching. When discipline becomes identity, excuses disappear, negotiation ends, consistency becomes natural. You stop asking yourself whether you feel like doing the work. You do it because the question no longer matters. This is not emotional. It is deliberate. Deliberate action builds trust with yourself. Each time you follow through, even when it is inconvenient, you reinforce the belief that you can rely on yourself. That belief changes everything. Self-trust creates calm. Calm creates clarity. Clarity creates direction. Direction removes anxiety. Many people feel anxious not because they are incapable, but because they are inconsistent. Their effort is scattered. Their focus is divided. Their standards change depending on mood. When standards stabilize, anxiety weakens. Standards are not rules you announce. They are behaviors you repeat. Your standards determine how you respond when no one is watching, how you act when progress is slow, how you behave when quitting would be easy. Raising standards often feels lonely, not because others disappear, but because fewer people are willing to live at that level. Fewer people are willing to delay gratification. Fewer people are willing to accept boredom as part of mastery. This loneliness is not emptiness, it is separation. You are separating from versions of yourself that survived chaos but cannot sustain growth. Survival taught you resilience. Growth requires precision. Precision demands awareness. You begin to notice where your energy goes. What drains you? What strengthens you? What distracts you? You stop wasting effort on unnecessary battles. You stop reacting to everything. You stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You choose where to invest attention. Attention is power. What you focus on expands. What you ignore weakens. When you control your attention, you regain authority over your life. Authority does not mean control over others. It means control over yourself. Control over impulses, control over reactions, control over decisions. This control does not feel exciting. It feels steady. Steadiness is underestimated. Steadiness allows progress without burnout. It allows growth without chaos. It allows success without collapse. At this level, success becomes quiet. You stop announcing goals. You stop seeking validation. You stop comparing timelines. Comparison loses relevance when you are aligned. Alignment means your actions match your values even when it costs you comfort. Even when it costs you approval. Even when it costs you speed. Speed is not always progress. Sometimes speed is avoidance. Slowing down allows you to see clearly. It allows you to refine. It allows you to build foundations strong enough to carry pressure. Pressure always comes later. If you build fast without depth, pressure exposes weakness. If you build slowly with discipline, pressure reveals strength. This is why quiet builders last. They are not rushed. They are not reactive. They are not distracted by trends or noise. They know what they are building and why. Purpose stabilizes effort. Without purpose, discipline feels empty. With purpose, discipline feels meaningful. Purpose does not have to be grand. It has to be honest. It has to matter to you. When purpose is clear, sacrifice feels justified. When purpose is unclear, even small effort feels heavy. Clarity reduces resistance. Resistance is often misinterpreted as laziness. In reality, resistance is confusion. It is misalignment. It is effort without meaning. When meaning returns, effort becomes lighter. Not easier, but lighter. You still face resistance. You still face doubt. But you no longer obey them. Doubt becomes information, not instruction. You acknowledge it and continue. This is emotional maturity. You stop trying to eliminate doubt. You stop trying to feel confident all the time. You move forward despite uncertainty. Certainty is not required for progress. Commitment is. Commitment is the decision to continue regardless of emotional state. This decision simplifies life. You stop overthinking. You stop second-guessing. You stop waiting for perfect timing. You act according to principles, not feelings. Principles provide stability when emotions fluctuate. This stability is what allows long-term growth. Long-term growth is invisible in the beginning. It does not impress. It does not attract attention. It compounds quietly. Most people quit before compounding begins. They mistake silence for failure. They mistake slow progress for lack of potential. They mistake boredom for misalignment, but boredom is often a sign that you are doing the right thing consistently. Mastery is repetitive. Repetition is not glamorous. It is effective. Each repetition strengthens skill. Each repetition sharpens discipline. Each repetition builds confidence. Confidence that is earned lasts. Earned confidence does not announce itself. It does not dominate conversations. It does not seek validation. It shows in posture, in decisions, in restraint. Restraint is a form of power. Knowing when not to act is as important as knowing when to act. You stop reacting to provocation. You stop engaging in unnecessary conflict. You stop defending your choices. You conserve energy. Energy conservation is strategic. You are no longer trying to win every moment. You are trying to win over time. Winning over time requires patience. Patience is not passive. It is controlled urgency. You know where you are going, but you are not rushed. Rushing leads to mistakes. Mistakes lead to discouragement. Discouragement leads to quitting. Patience protects momentum. Momentum is built through consistency, not intensity. Consistency does not require motivation. It requires systems. Systems reduce reliance on willpower. Willpower is limited. Systems are reliable. You structure your environment to support your standards. You remove unnecessary friction. You reduce distractions. You make discipline easier to maintain. This is not weakness. It is intelligence. Smart discipline lasts longer than forced discipline. As time passes, identity shifts again. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to improve. You see yourself as someone who lives with intention. This identity is calm. It does not need to prove itself. It does not fear being overlooked. It does not panic under pressure. It simply continues. People may notice changes, but they will not understand the process behind them. That is acceptable. Understanding is optional. Alignment is not. You are no longer building for approval. You are building for sustainability. Sustainability requires honesty. Honesty about limits. Honesty about priorities. Honesty about effort. You stop pretending to be capable of everything. You choose what matters. Choosing means letting go. Letting go creates space. Space allows depth. Depth creates mastery. Mastery is quiet. It does not seek attention. It attracts opportunity. Opportunities recognize preparedness. Preparation happens in silence. Silence becomes familiar. Not empty, but focused. Not lonely, but clear. You no longer fear being alone with your thoughts. You trust yourself enough to face them. This trust is powerful. It anchors you during uncertainty. It steadies you during loss. It supports you during transition. Transition never stops. Growth is ongoing. The struggle does not disappear. It evolves. Silence does not leave. It sharpens. Loneliness does not weaken you. It refines you. Discipline does not restrict you. It frees you. Quiet success is not accidental. It is the result of choosing yourself repeatedly when no one is watching. And you are still choosing. That is why you are still here.